So right here we have this run card game. This company sent this to me so I could show you guys how to play this. So thank you to them for partnering with us on this. First of all, I do want to point out it says ages 8 plus and 2 to 6 players here. I will admit we have a 6-year-old. 6-year-old played it just fine. He's starting to understand numbers and math already, and we just kind of help him out a little bit. So I did want to point that out. The way this works is very simple. It's a card game, very math-based, so it's great for, for kids learning negative numbers, positive numbers, adding and subtracting, all that type of stuff. So this right here is your deck of cards. It has a whole bunch of different type of cards in there, which we'll get into here in just a minute. That's another one of the same. And then they have a bunch of numbered cards right there. Our kids actually really like the designs, the graphics that they put on each of the cards as well. They're just kind of funny and whatnot. So we start off with everybody has this called a life token right here. You get 3 of them. I guess if you wanted to shorten gameplay, you could only give 2, or if you wanted to lengthen it, you could do 4. But you have the heart on this side. Think of this as like a video game, and you have life. And this right here represents your life, and then this right here, you lose a life right there. A little skull thing on the back right there. So everybody starts off with 3 of these. I'll put those aside just like that. And then you have your cards right here. You're going to want to shuffle them up, and then you draw 3 cards. Everybody's going to draw 3 cards. And you have your kind of generic cards, which are just going to be numbered cards. I have a 7 and a 4. 7 is the highest, so that's actually a really good card to hang on to. 4 is kind of run-of-the-mill, which you may be able to trade it in for something else. Then they have these extra special cards, or whatever you want to call it. This is called the Miraculous Helisave right there. We'll get into that in just a minute, but it basically means that you can't die for that round. So that's definitely one that you're going to want to hang on to. So there's 2 options that you have as you're playing your round. You can either try and get the most amount of points. That way you don't die, because the idea is you're being chased by a bear, and so the person with the least amount of points is kind of the slowest one, and so they're the ones that are going to lose a life. So you want to either get the highest cards, or, as I mentioned, there's negative numbers in the deck. So here's like a -2 right there. The other option is that you can get 3 negative numbers, and then you would be considered playing dead, and so the bear doesn't come and get you. And so you just have to kind of weigh what's in your hand with what you're getting, what you think everybody else is doing, and then you start playing. So you're going to have one card right here that's going to be flipped over. Okay, this is a good one right here. I wanted to teach you guys about this one. This is, what do they call it? Like a special card or an action card or whatever. Has a +7 and a -7. So what this does, it's a sabotage card. That's what they call it. You probably want to take this one, and I would put down my 4 for this one, because what we're going to do with this one, at the end of the round, we can sabotage someone by giving them the -7, but then we also get an additional +7 in our hand. So, honestly, with this hand that I have right here, even before I drew that card, one way that you end the round is you say, "Run!" and you put your hand down, "Run!" And so that means that you don't get a turn, and everybody else gets one more turn to try and get the best hand that they can. The reason why I would probably do that in this case is because of this card right here, because I know that I can't die on this card. So that's awesome. And then if I didn't have this card and I had this card, and let's see what what would be so this one right here, since it's a 5, it's better than the 4 that I have, so I would just simply I would keep this one and I would discard this one. Now it's the next person's turn, and so they can either choose to pick up this one and discard another one. That way you only have 3 cards in your hands the whole time. Or you draw from the pile right here, and then you discard whichever one you want. In this case, it's a -2, so it probably wouldn't have been a good idea, and I would just discard that one right there. So you go around the table, everybody keeps playing until somebody thinks that they have the best hand, and they yell "run," and then everybody else goes around one more time. Then you show everybody your cards, and you kind of do some math, add up how much points everybody has, and then you run through your sabotage cards, which you get to choose who's going to get that -7. So you see what the points that everybody has, and you're like, oh, you have too many. I'm going to play this on you, and then you also get the additional 7 points there. Then the person with the least amount, unless they're, they got all negative numbers and they're playing dead, the person with the least amount loses that round, and they flip over their life token to be the skull right there. And then the rounds continue to play until only one person is left in the game, and they're the ones that survive the bear attack for the run. So super fun. Look, I went through the directions to learn how to play, and I wanted to show you guys that these are all the standard cards right there, and then all of those action cards or special cards. As I mentioned, you have your sabotage cards right here. We looked at this one right here, which saves you, but then there's this one right here. That's the baby bear, and that, by the way, it tells you on the bottom of each card what these special cards do, so you don't have to memorize them. But this one, somebody of your choice is automatically dead. There's the twist ones, the boost ones. That's good. So, let's say I had a 7 in my hand and I had the adrenaline. I would the adrenaline takes the highest card or the card of your choosing, and it matches it. So this would be worth 14 points right here, plus whatever the third card is that you have in your hand. And then there's the twist cards, which one is swap a card with any other player, your choice, and everyone passes a card to the right. So it's kind of like to kind of mix things up a little bit. And you play, whenever you draw one of the green cards, you immediately play it right whenever you draw it. So it goes through in more detail about all of the different cards here too, if you care about kind of understanding them a little bit better. But that's just kind of the basic rundown of it. But super easy game to play. Great game to play with kids, especially if they're learning math, negative numbers, positive numbers, adding them together, multiplying with the adrenaline, plus and minus with the 7. So we have a super fun time playing this with the kids. And it's a great game since it's just a simple card game and you're only holding 3 cards in your hand at one time. You can play like at the dinner table or something like that. Just something very easy to do. Everybody takes turns so you can eat in between everybody's turns. So y'all definitely go and grab y'all this if this is something that you're looking for. If you're looking for a fun new card game to play as a family. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know if this was helpful. If it was, consider adding this to your cart, and Dad out.